Today, let's continue with another clip from Buffett's 1998 speech at the University of Florida. The theme is two core ideas in Buffett's investment philosophy. First, what is a good business? Second, what is value investing? This speech is excellent. Even if you are not interested in investing, it is worth hearing.
To start with, doesn't make sense to go with things that you think you can understand, but you can understand some things. I can understand this. You can understand this. Anybody can understand this. It's a simple business. It's not an easy business. I don't want a business that's easy for competitors. So I want a business with a moat around it. I want a very valuable castle in the middle. And then I want the duke who's in charge of that castle to be honest and hardworking and able. And then I want a big moat around the castle. And that moat can be various things. Our managers of the businesses we run, I've got one message to them, which is to widen the moat. And we want to throw crocodiles and sharks and everything else, gators, I guess, into the moat to keep away competitors. And that comes about through service. It comes about through quality of product. It comes about through cost. It comes about sometimes through patents. It comes about through real estate location. So that's the business I'm looking for. You give me $1 billion and tell me to go in the chewing gum business and try and make a real dent in Wrigley's, I can't do it. And that's the way I think about business. I say to myself, give me $1 billion and how much can I hurt the guy? Give me $10 billion. Give me $10 billion and how much can I hurt Coca-Cola around the world? I can't do it. Well, those are good businesses.
A good business must keep generating profits. An honest management team lets those profits belong to shareholders. And the role of a moat is to make sure those profits stay yours for a long time. Others cannot get in. This metaphor is incredibly precise. I think this framework is worth studying for any entrepreneur or investor. But what I want to focus on today is the biggest part of this speech, the moat. Look at Buffett. He is a major shareholder in many companies. He could ask management for anything, efficiency, profits, growth, but instead he gives them one message: widen your moat. Just feel the force of that. A business with a moat is a good business. A business without one is not. That sounds blunt, but it is objective. In a market economy, industries always tend toward oversupply. People, capital, and resources naturally flow toward profits until profits disappear. A moat changes that. Profits still exist, but they belong only to you. Others cannot get in. So whether you are an investor, an entrepreneur, or an employee, a moat is something you must pursue and build. A company without a moat will fall into brutal competition. If you work there, you will suffer too. Human capital gets squeezed without limit. It is only a matter of time. Many people underestimate the moat because they have not lived through a full industry cycle. The typical story goes like this. You start a business without any real core advantage, but the industry is booming and supply and demand are badly imbalanced. Just by being there at the right time, you make money. Life feels comfortable. Then competitors appear like bamboo shoots after rain. Demand keeps evolving. Your market share shrinks. Profits go to zero. Now you either shut down or keep going and lose more money. Most companies die here. A clean shutdown is lucky. Some people do worse. They mistake what the times gave them for their own ability, expand blindly, and fall even faster. The only way to escape this is to find your moat before the window closes and keep widening it. Study business history, and the pattern is clear. Most Chinese internet and tech companies started by copying others, but as they grew, they had to innovate. Patents, brands, a place in the user's mind, scale to lower costs, network effects to form a monopoly. Every company that survived long-term followed this path. So when you invest, look for a job or analyze a company. Don't assume great prospects just because recent performance is strong or the topic is hot. Ask calmly, can others do what this company does? Does it have technical, cost, or policy barriers that competitors simply cannot overcome? As Buffett says, give a competitor $1 billion. Can they hurt it? If they still cannot, that is a good company. The business world is brutal. Companies without moats can go from thriving to collapsing in an instant. The moat concept matters not just for investing, it matters to every ordinary person, your education, your career, your business. The logic is the same. Why do many young people feel stuck below some invisible ceiling despite decent credentials and hard work? Why are many diligent, careful, middle-aged workers suddenly pushed out one day, never to find an equally good job again? On the surface, many reasons. But the deeper reason is always the same. No moat. No strong reason for others to need you. no differentiated value. I've thought about this a lot. For an ordinary person without exceptional talent or family resources, how do you build your moat? From years of working and building companies, here are 4 things. First, go deep enough into your craft, deep enough that you could train your peers, deep enough that others come to learn from you. And if you find something you are naturally good at, something others cannot copy no matter how hard they try, that is your precious asset. Dig into it without limit. Second, broaden your skill stack, business combined with management, product combined with marketing. Every extra dimension creates new chemistry, and each extra dimension raises the difficulty of replacing you by an order of magnitude. Third, invest in things that take time, take reputation. If you spend 10 years building a reputation and network in one field, anyone who wants to catch up must also spend 10 years. By then, you have already spent 20. Time itself is a natural moat. Fourth, control the means of production, tangible or intangible, either way. Do not just sell your labor time, convert it into productive assets. Those are the 4 things I have found most valuable. In the workplace or in business, it is all the same. Short-term wins and losses are not that important. The leaders and resources you think you can rely on are often not reliable. In the long run, what lets you stand on your own feet is your moat. A moat means that anyone who tries to take your place feels hopeless the moment they see you. The more they understand you, the deeper that hopelessness becomes. So building your moat, widening your moat, that is where our daily effort should really go. Maybe I went a little far there, but this channel is also about personal growth, so I wanted to say that. Now back to Buffett, the moat is the most important condition for a good business, but not the only one. Next, he explains what value investing actually is and what mindset he has when making an investment.
So I want a simple business, easy to understand, great economics now, honest and able management, and then I can see about, in a general way, where they're going to be 10 years from now. And if I can't see where they're going to be 10 years from now, I don't want to buy it. Basically, I don't want to buy any stock where if they close the New York Stock Exchange tomorrow for 5 years, I won't be happy owning it. I buy a farm, and I don't get a quote on it for 5 years, and I'm happy if the farm does okay. You know, I buy an apartment house, don't get a quote on it for 5 years, I'm happy if the apartment house produces the returns that I expect. But people buy a stock, and they look at the price the next morning, and they decide whether they're doing well or not doing well. It's crazy, because they're buying a piece of a business. That's what Graham, the most fundamental part of what he taught me. You know, you're not buying a stock, you're buying a part ownership in a business. You will do well if the business does well, and if you didn't pay a totally silly price. And that's what it's all about. And you ought to buy businesses you understand. Just like if you're buying farms, you ought to buy farms you understand. It's not complicated.
I've watched this section many times. It is only 1 minute long, but it is one of the most classic explanations of value investing. Let me summarize the conditions Buffett requires before investing. Every single condition is about the company itself. No extra distractions. What are distractions? Say he wants to buy a farm. As long as it meets his criteria, he is satisfied. He does not say farming is the hottest sector, I want to catch that trend, or find the fastest growing farm. No, that thinking does not exist for him. When Buffett invests, everything is about the company itself, not catching an industry boom, not chasing short-term performance, not worrying about rankings. Did I miss the internet? Did I miss AI? Those thoughts do not exist for Buffett. Buying a stock means buying a business. That is having no distractions. He makes one important point that may sound awkward at first. He says, imagine the stock market closes tomorrow for 5 years. If today I find a company that meets all my criteria, would I still buy it? Buffett's answer is yes. Whether the market is open or closed has no effect on whether this is a good company. In other words, if 5 years without a market makes you unwilling to hold a stock, that only proves you should never have owned it. When I study Buffett, the core of his philosophy is the search for certainty. How do you find certainty? Distinguish between what can be known and what cannot. Toss a coin. You cannot predict heads or tails. Each toss is unknowable, but toss it 1,000 times and heads will be very close to 50%. Because the statistical result comes from the nature of the coin itself. Same with stocks. Tomorrow's price movement is unknowable, but a good company with a moat will very likely outperform competitors without one 5 years from now. That is knowable. The longer the time horizon, the more the true nature of a thing appears. Small disturbances and unknowable factors become less decisive at a larger scale. Value investing is a lot like choosing a life partner. You do not need to meet everyone in the world to find the absolute best person. You only need someone within your world that you understand, admire, and whose standards match yours. What matters is that both sides are satisfied. No distractions, no competing with others, and when you make that choice, what matters is the person's essence. Character, values, temperament, over a long life together, those qualities keep benefiting you and your family. There will be storms ahead, but those deeper qualities, the ones that do not change easily, will help you through. So, as long as the core has not changed, hold for the long term. Go back to the essence of the person. In value investing, go back to the essence of the company. Imagine walking out of the marriage office, your partner trips and falls, and you immediately want a divorce. That would be insane. It is the same as buying a stock, seeing it drop the next day, and doubting the investment. That is madness. Buffett never wrestles with the unknowable. He does not waste a single second on it. He only looks for what is certain, what is essential. And anything truly essential takes a long time to show its value. So he holds for the long term with enormous patience and quietly waits for that value to be released. That is respect for common sense. The great truth is often simple. Buffett's philosophy is not just an investment method. It is a worldview and a value system. It applies to everything you do, including what kind of person you want to become. Go back to the essence. Keep doing the right thing for a long time. What is the secret to high grades? Listen carefully. Do your homework well. Understand every knowledge point solidly. Just do what you are supposed to do. What is the secret to a successful career? Stand in others' shoes. Solve their problems. Create value for them. The money they pay you is simply the result of the value you created. What is the secret to earning respect? Become a person who deserves it. Go back to the root of things. Do your part. No shortcuts. Act on what you believe. Plant the seeds with your head down. The harvest comes naturally. The secret of value investing is that there is no secret. The logic is something everyone can understand. And once you truly understand it, you understand everything. The success of Buffett and Duan Yangping, the Chinese investor and entrepreneur, is very hard to replicate. Even after studying their ideas, most of us will still be ordinary people. But I believe that if we go back to the essence and do things the honest way, we will avoid many unnecessary detours. And our journey through life will be a better one.